wearing proud like a second skin. For the fallen and the ones who rise, in the name of freedom we ride the skies. From the first green flag to the final lap, we push the limits, no turning back. With the wind at our backs and the sun in our eyes, GoatLocker Racing, we'll claim the prize. We're racing through the fire, burning bright. With the grit of the brave, we fight the night. No chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. Find our way on the edge of the wild, we won't betray. Every lap, every turn, it's do or die. With the spirit of a warrior as we reach for the sky. We're racing through the fire, burning bright. With the grit of the brave, we fight the night. No chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. We've been, but we wear them proud like a second skin. For the fallen and the ones who rise, in the name of freedom we ride the skies. So we got the scars to show where we've been, but we wear them proud like a second skin. But we wear them proud to show where we've been, but we wear them proud, the glory's sake. We're the heart of the storm where we've been, but we wear them proud like a second skin. For the fallen and the ones who rise, in the name of freedom we ride the skies. We're racing through the fire, burning bright. With the grit of the brave, we fight the night. No chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. Yeah, for glory's sake. In the heart of the storm, we find our way. On the edge of the wild, we won't betray. Every lap, every turn to do or die. With the spirit of warriors, the game. In the heart of the storm we find our way. On the edge of the way, on the edge of the wild we won't betray. In the heart of the storm we find our way. On the edge of the wild we won't betray. Every lap, every turn, it's do or die. With the spirit of a warrior as we reach for the sky. We're racing through the fire, burning bright. With the grit of the brave, we fight the night. No chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. GLR for glory's sake. We're GLR for glory's sake. We're the outlaws on the asphalt, running wild, we never fall. In the shadows where the strong survive, GoatLocker Racing, we come alive. We're brothers and sisters bound by the code. In the heat of the battle, we lighten the load. From the dirt to the track, we stand our ground. With a roar like thunder, we shake the town. We're racing through the fire, burning bright. With the grit of the brave, we fight the night. No chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. We've got the scars to show where we've been, but we wear them proud like a second skin. For the fallen and the ones who rise, in the name of freedom we ride the skies. From the first green flag to the final lap, we push the limits, no turning back. With the wind at our backs and the sun in our eyes, GoatLocker Racing, we'll claim the prize. We're racing through the fire, burning bright. With the grit of the brave, we fight the night. No chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake. Find our way on the edge of the wild, we won't betray. Every lap, every turn, it's do or die. With the spirit of a warrior as we reach for the sky. We're racing through the fire, burning bright. With the grit of the brave, we fight the night. No chains can hold us, no fear can break. We're GLR for glory's sake.
Flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. You know how I feel. River running free. You know how I feel. Lost on the
Iowa Speedway under the lights for some GoatLocker Racing Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series action. It is the first race in the round of 8. 2 races in this one, and it is almost time to crown a champion. Just 3 races away from doing just that. 8 drivers still remain in contention. You're watching Maconi Entertainment. Dylan Coyle alongside Jeremy Briggs bringing you all the action from this short track in Newton, Iowa. It's the first time this season that the NASCAR Cup Series came to this track in the middle of the cornfields in Iowa, and that's exactly what we're doing tonight in GoatLocker Racing. Qualifying is almost finished up here. 115 laps. That's what these competitors are going to be working with as we take a little peek at the schedule and the remaining playoff drivers in this field. Iowa, of course, is the 13th round of the season. Nashville will follow up, and then Las Vegas, the championship 4. We take a look at qualifying times right now. And the playoff drivers, J.J. Moore, Jesse Whittington, Blake Edel, Jason Taylor, Logan Sturgeon, Patrick Drabick, Dan Cunningham, and Jake Collins, the 8 drivers. They'll be highlighted in yellow tonight. Jeremy, excited for this one. It should be a quick race if we go fairly clean throughout it.
Absolutely. 115 laps at this 3/4 of a mile trek here for GoatLocker Racing. It is great to be back after a quick American Thanksgiving break, and I'm excited to be back in the booth. We're going to have some great racing, as always. Like you said, it could be going pretty quick. If we go clean and green, you can see Patrick Drabeck, our defending champion right now, trying to set himself on the pole.
It's going to be a massive victory. Well, I guess you could say a massive start in track to a victory if Drabeck is able to get pole position here, and that's exactly what he's able to do. Does it by 2 1/1000ths of a second over Daniel Cunningham. He'll be on the outside of row number 1. J.J. Moore, Kendorian Davis in row 2, Jake Collins, George Jewell in row 3, Jason Taylor, Jacob Ellingson, Logan Sturgeon, and Blake Edel round out the top 10. Timothy Wilms, Timothy Stubblefield, the Timothys are in row 6, while James Kaufman, Tyler Justice, Josh Lekinvitz, and Bobby Germain round out a small 16-car field. And with that being said, Jeremy, it's a small field. You can expect that not many points, as long as you take part in this race, there's not going to be too much of a point difference going into the final race of the round of 8.
Just got to pretty much finish this race and it'll put you in a good position for the next round. One small mistake, like I said, these rounds are going really quick. We're down to these final few races. Patrick Drabeck trying to defend that championship in that Jam Printing Promotions machine and getting that Jam Printing Promotions pole award here for the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series. Also want to hope everybody's enjoying the broadcast there at Nasty's Bar and Grill. Enjoy that delicious food for us.
Absolutely. Jam Printing and Promotions from Plainfield, Indiana. We're local, we're veteran certified, and when we do well, we can do more good in the community. Since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They've been with GoatLocker Racing since the very beginning and provide GLR with all promotional items, including shirts, hats, decals, dog tags, you name it. Jam is GLR's go-to promotional company, and of course, are sponsoring the pole award this season. Patrick Drabeck is on the pole. Of course, Cruisin Classics is the title partner of this series from Columbus, Ohio. Cruisin Classics has been buying and selling cars for many years. The majority were your average daily drivers, but our passion has always been in muscle cars and hot rods. So in 1996, Cruisin Classics built a 56,000 square foot showroom located in Columbus, Ohio, that they still operate out of today. All of our vehicles are handpicked and selected to ensure they fit our inventory. This facility is now arguably one of the best stocked collections for sale in the U.S., housing hundreds of unique automobiles all under one roof. We invite you to our facility, and there's something for everyone when you come to visit. Quick look at the race analysis. 115 laps, no fast repairs, 3 available sets of tires, and a fuel window from lap 64 to 68. 1 stop expected tonight. We're about ready to go green flag racing here in Newton, Iowa. 3 races left before crowning the 2024 Cruisin Classics champion. We're underway here at Iowa Speedway.
Field roars out of turn 2, down to the backstretch. Daniel Cunningham with a tremendous start over a pole sitter of Patrick Drabeck, as they are now a 3-wide battle for the lead coming to the lap number 1.
Oh goodness, what a strong start to this race. Cunningham will lead it. JJ Moore takes second away. Patrick Drabeck falls 2 positions in 1 lap, but tries to fight back in that middle groove. Of course, the real world Iowa Speedway has that new bit of asphalt in turns 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the bottom groove. That is not the case here in iRacing. A lot more room to work with grip being kind of necessarily the same. Drabeck gets a really good run out of turn 4. We're watching on board from JJ Moore, and Drabeck dives underneath the 91 of Cunningham and tries to take back that lead. Does not get free though, still side by side.
What a battle for this lead between Cunningham and Drabeck. Just a few laps in, side by side, lap after lap, as we look on board here from the 54 of JJ Moore. Look at that, side by side right there. Lap after lap, Drabeck started on the pole trying to get it. A little slip up here and there keeps them side by side right to the quarter panel. Cunningham, wow, that was very close. As Jake Collins right there in 4th begins to start creeping in. Let's see if he can make some noise.
Cunningham got the wall there on the exit of turn 2. We'll see how that machine starts to handle. You know, don't count any of the drivers who are in the mid-pack already out, and do not say that only the top 3 or now top 4 are going to run away with it, because tire conservation will be key here at Iowa Speedway for success. The longer these 2 drivers run side by side, the more they're going to put some extra wear on their Goodyear rubber, and that can lead to other opportunities for drivers in the mid-pack to come and run up front.
This is some really great racing here between Drebeck and Cunningham. Is JJ Moore finally getting ready to maybe make that move, or is he just being patient as Cunningham, lap after lap, just trying to get that top to work, but Drebeck so smooth on the bottom is making it work as well. This is great racing.
Absolute perfection with this racing here. I mean, these two drivers have been side by side the entire way, and JJ Moore almost had the door open up for him to go down the middle of 3 wide, decided against it, and slots still in behind both drivers. This is just perfection, high pace parade laps, and these two drivers will not let each other get away from one another.
Could we potentially be seeing a preview of our championship 4 right here? These drivers right here in a top 4 been pretty consistent in this championship run. If you look on your ticket to your left, you can see the drivers highlighted in yellow are our championship drivers. If I'm correct, I don't believe all the drivers in the championship race made the start here tonight, as we only have 16 drivers in the field.
Man, this is just a beautiful display of side-by-side racing. JJ Moore had a really good run right there. Pushes Cunningham ahead around the outside. Cunningham with more speed than he's typically had because of that shove down the backstretch by Moore, and went way up high up the racetrack in 3 and 4. Completed 10 laps here at Iowa Speedway so far. I should say more like 9 laps so far at Iowa Speedway on lap number 10. Oh, and look at that, Cunningham very loose. Gives Drebeck some free room and some space. Moore dives to the bottom.
Wow, great move by JJ Moore to put himself now in position number 2. We are almost 3/10 already off of our best laps already, and we're just about 11 laps in. So these tires are falling off, and those leaders probably hurt their tires tremendously. Look at Jacob Ellingson in 5th place. Now finds himself right there in the battle for the lead as well.
Remember, a win and 2 completed races for drivers in the playoffs here means that they advance automatically to the next round. That is important to note. We talked a little bit as Collins got way up the track, pushed way too tight, was unable to do anything here. We talked a little bit about some of the playoff drivers before we went into the race session. Jesse Whittington is not in the field tonight. That's going to destroy his playoff eligibility, which was already kind of destroyed in a way. He won race 1 of the playoffs. It got him into this round, but he missed the second race, which took him out of this round. So all of a sudden, why is he back into potentially being a playoff driver again? Well, that was because Ryan Pendleton, who was in after last week, or 2 weeks ago, is forfeiting his playoff spot due to circumstances that will force him to miss the next 2 weeks. The GoatLocker Racing. Oh, look at that. Hold on. The 79 is around, comes back on track, and somehow saves it. Dangerous for Logan Vince.
Whew. What a save for Lokenvitz to keep this clean and green here. 15 laps in.
We'll get the replay in a moment, but as I was saying, Jesse Whittington was put in by race stewards, race control, and league administrators after being out of the playoffs. He moved on, then forfeited his spot for missing, then got put back in, and now he's going to have to forfeit again because he's missed this race. Let's go replay here at what happened with Logan Vince. He is side by side right here with Tyler Justice.
Peter Wash is battling down the back stretch. Looks like he was going to get that position. See what happens out of turn 4. This track is very tricky. Oh, yep, that turn 4 monster got him.
Wow, yeah. And what a save, though. Dirt tracking it through the dirt. Deciding to rally a little bit on some asphalt and gets it back on track. But he is dangerously close to going a lap down within the next, I don't know, say 10, 15 laps or so. 13 seconds back. He's losing it again. This is live picture right here. And save it. No, way into the inside wall. He's still going straight, way off the racing surface. He might just retire the car after that.
As the leaders are now coming down the backstretch where that just happened. like everybody's rolling good as Drebeck right now has himself to a 2/10 lead. Doing all right as the leaders now pass him on the front stretch. As we look further on, you got Logan Sturgeon finding himself now in 6th place in that number 26 Cruisin Classics machine.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake is right.
That 26 machine right now is going through the field.
Three spots.
Up 3 spots. And look at this. There's Jake Collins. There's Jacob Ellingson. We're on board now in this 4th place battle with Jake Collins in the money line Toyota Camry. And this is a good battle. Collins has stayed right where he is. Ellingson up 4 spots in this race. It's the highest moving driver so far tonight, as we have now completed 20 laps of racing here at Iowa Speedway. We're around a third of the way through this fuel run, so these times are going to start to drop off pretty suddenly. They've fallen off around half a second so far.
Yeah, like you said, we're already a half a second plus off on this run. These tires are destroyed. Oh, Jason Taylor there. Contact, I believe that was George Jewell.
Yeah,
Everybody
George
is clean and green though.
Yeah, still clean, still green right now. As Lokenvitz again is sliding and somehow saves it again. He is right now struggling to keep that race car going straight. And here's another replay of what happened, and he just got way loose out of turn 3, turn 4, corrected it, almost put it into the outside wall. And it's almost, it's very similar to his first incident in this race. Just not a good night for him.
Those tires right now are screaming, have mercy on my tires, man. They are just so hot, and they just got roasted so many times in exit. It's probably like driving like on ice skates on and especially not a smooth surface either, because you're getting bounced around on these bumpy surface track. And as you see, Jake Collins right there just in front of Jacob Ellingson. Ellingson trying to go back on the charge up front. Maybe he's got his tires cooled off.
When I was there for the NASCAR weekend in June at Iowa, as Ellingson slides it up the racetrack, loses a few car lengths, and into that outside safer barrier. He's going to lose some more time right there. When I was there in June, I took a walk of the track from turn 2 all the way to turn 3 down that backstretch. Oh, no! Ellingson's around. The yellow flag is out. Is he going to be able to save it? He is. No damage on that race car.
Broadcaster's jinx. This is all my fault, Jacob. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Jacob. Oh, Jacob.
That Lincoln Tech machine spun around, but no harm, no foul, but just lost a lot of track position. We'll see if he can march back towards the front. He was one of the fastest cars on that run.
He definitely was. No drivers can make it to the end of this race if they go into the pits now, but I'm assuming most of them will for fresh tires. Let's take a look at this replay right here. It was a single car incident. He's been driving really hard into the corners, and this time, was there some contact from the 26?
Like he was sliding. I don't know if the 26 maybe had just a little bit of contact there as he was already kind of spun around. As you can see, him just trying to save it. Didn't look like there was anything too hard, at least on the end of Ellingson, but everybody's coming to pit road. Everybody's on pit road.
Yeah, everyone's down pit road, and this does make a lot of sense. These tires, we talked about it, over a half second already worn off on these tires, so it's just going to make this this strategy call, if we go green the rest of the way, a little bit more interesting. Drebeck in that first stall gets in, slides the tires just a tiny bit. The 91 did not slide. It was hard on the brakes. And you see, it should be an easy victory off pit road for Drebeck. J.J. Moore right there, though, is unable to get there, and that is all because of that first pit stall that Patrick Drebeck has. He was able to take a much shorter path to pit exit, and he will retain the lead of this race. Let's talk a little bit about that Lincoln Tech machine, Lincoln's mission. is to provide superior education and training to our students for in-demand careers and a supportive, accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding value to their communities. They're one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 23 campuses and the title sponsor of the fall series, a very important partner to GoatLocker Racing. You know, Jacob Ellingson in that Lincoln Tech machine was the one that went for a spin, was racing in the top 5, and now he's going to have to put in all that work again. He was the highest running driver, and I think, you know, he just burned off too much of the rubber and kept trying to go aggressively into the corners, was unable to do it for that much longer of a period of time.
Especially as I had just spoken right before he did that, as it looked like he was got his tires underneath him, but unfortunately I spoke too soon, and so I will take that one, Jacob. But I believe we should be coming to 1 degree in this time, as Drabeck, like you said, had that #1 pit stall. Even though JJ Moore had a faster pit stop and was faster than pit road, just #1 stall worked out so well for that Jam Printing and Promotions number 07 of Patrick Drabeck.
Yeah, JJ Moore had just such a solid stop for him. Almost was able to take it away from that 07. All about that pit entry line. So we should go back to Green Flag Racing on lap 31 of 115 here tonight. Lap times averaging around 24 to 25 seconds, 24 seconds on fresh tires. So the pace will be high, at least at the start. This does change strategy just a little bit. They could run 64 laps or so before that tank goes dry, which would set up a very short run to the end. I think, though, they're just going to split this right in half. That is the smarter and faster way around, unless you're trying to hold out for a caution.
Definitely going to be tight on that fuel mileage, as it looks like the 07 is going to take the outside line here, coming to the green. I believe next time by, yes, we will. Pace car lights are extinguished. Look at that. Top 5 cars are in the playoff picture. Jason Taylor in that 41 right there. Logan Sturgeon just outside. Blake Edel as well. As you can see, a lot of playoff drivers up front. Dorian Davids, Kanana, lone wolf here in that playoff driver sandwich, excuse me.
Yeah, Ken Dorian in that number 50 machine. Of course, not in the playoffs in this next gen series. He's running pretty well in the Sunday in Vets Truck Series action. You can always follow that on Maconi Entertainment. Pace car about to duck down into pit road. Does it now? Oh, that would have been cool if it did it right when I said, but it doesn't. So we're about to go back to Green Flag Racing restart. Good jump by Drabeck. A good response, though, from JJ Moore. Still holds strong on the bottom.
Wonder if Patrick Drabeck learned something from that initial start where he lost a lot of ground there from Daniel Cunningham and others. Gets right back to the front where he belongs. Look at Jake Collins all the way up there against the wall almost. Trying to grip it and rip it with Jason Taylor hot on his tail. Top 5 cars kind of getting strung out. JJ Moore all over the back bumper of the 07 of Patrick Drabeck. And I believe Patrick Drabeck was in that Movember Maconi race. I believe I saw him out on the track while I was out there. That was a great race to be a part of. See if Patrick can get it, as JJ Moore is now on his inside as a battle for the lead here down the front stretch.
Moore packs some air onto that left rear quarter panel and dives down, hits the 07. They rub up against each other, and right now they're side by side coming off of turn 2. Moore lost momentum there, was unable to get that car to a slow enough pace to make the corner work for him. Slides way up against the wall, might have tagged it, and he's going to lose a ton of time there from almost taking P1 to falling over 3/10 behind it.
I'm not sure if maybe the 54 might have backed off there after making a little bit of contact to kind of maybe show a little respect there. I'm not sure, because he kind of backed off tremendously going into turn 3. So I'm not sure if that was the case, but right now everybody's still rolling. as we look here, third on back with Daniel Cunningham and Jake Collins racing right there, with Jason Taylor and Logan Sturgeon in sixth.
You know, I wonder if it was the last lap, if he would actually back off the way he just did, back off right there.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, but he knows this is early on, and, you know.
Oh, look at that, Jason Taylor almost losing it through this front stretch. Great save, loses a ton of track position, though, and falls back to P10, fighting with Tyler Justice for P9. Let's watch a replay on board.
Looks like the turn 4 monster strikes again.
Yeah, he just tries to throttle it up to stay off the wall, and he throttled it up just a little bit too much. Is that a stormtrooper fist bumping him in his car, in his onboard shot? I'd love to go back and see that again.
We'll have to take another look at that. That was pretty.
Hey, there you go.
It is. Look at that. That's pretty cool.
Fist bumps. Yeah.
Look right there at the bottom of your screens.
Stormtrooper. There you go.
Yeah, you got the stormtrooper right there.
There you go. Well, just like a stormtrooper, his aim was pretty bad if he was aiming for the wall right there. But did
in a good way.
Job avoiding it. Exactly.
You definitely want to have bad aim when it comes to these walls because they sneak up quick.
Oh, man. Let's watch now this fight here. Logan Sturgeon in P4, Jacob Collins in third, while Daniel Cunningham is in fifth. Jake Collins, you know, he's holding strong, but he's running on that high line. We'll see if the 26 is able to get down the inside and disrupt the airflow around that car as they're battling in behind Cunningham. It's Davis and Blake Edel here.
Man, that is really tight off of turn 2 between Blake Edel and George Jewell and Condorian Davis. These drivers are putting on one heck of a show. This Iowa track with so much degree in baking, it's letting these drivers kind of search all around for a grip. And you got to be careful going into turn 1. Oh, because you got to avoid that hump, the dump at the top of turn 1. That's exactly what I believe what that car was doing. It was just trying to stay lower on the entry there. And unfortunately, might have pinched him down a little bit more than he wanted to.
And I'll say this, the A-team was a little bit aggressive right there with the block on Condorian Davis. He did not want to give that position back up. It's very different than what we saw between J.J. Moore and Patrick Drabick just a lap or two after the restart. There was some aggression right there, and that might come back to hurt somebody like Edel as this run goes on. But hey, it is racing. It's a big slide from Jacob Ellingson for P10. He's starting to move back up through the field in that 27 Lincoln Tech machine. Look at that. Big dive down to the bottom. He's going to have to be really gentle on these brakes. The tires are heated up. Slides up now. Ellingson sees some blood in the water. And Taylor, remember those tires were hot? Well, I definitely showed that worst case scenario for the driver in that Ford Mustang machine. Loses all that time.
That number 41 untied Retinol's machine. Didn't hit anything. Still clean and green. As we look now at the number 50 of Condorian Davis and the number 36 of George Jewell battling off of turn 2. Jewell with a little bobble. That's going to give the number 50 the preferred entry into 3. We'll see if George Jewell drives underneath him here on the exit of 4. Can't quite get there, and the turn 4 monster didn't strike just yet. See what the next victim will be, though.
Expect these drivers to head down pit road probably in 30 laps time. I'm thinking that they're going to split it into around 45 lap stints, somewhere in that realm, which is well within fuel category, but it lets more drivers think about doing an overtake an overcut or an undercut on their pit strategy. That is something we will certainly have to see as George Jewell clears that machine in behind of Condorian Davis and the 50 Mobile 1. It's a clean scheme right there, but it isn't as fast as Jewell is, but Jewell almost lost it. How about that?
Whew. Oh man, close racing here, and even closer racing up front too for the lead as JJ Moore was all over the back bumper of Patrick Drabeck into turns 1 and 2. Right now the leaders were only just kind of on their own time zone, just they were doing 24.5s. The first one to finally, they all kind of started matching those times now, but they were pulling away. Now back down to 24.4s. There you go. Almost 2/10 faster than everybody behind them as these two are battling on. Looks like JJ Moore just a tick faster right now, but arrow tight is the name of the game when you're behind somebody trying to pass them. You just got no grip on those front tires trying to make the pass.
No grip whatsoever. It's going to help them to be a little bit more aggressive than they may have been before that caution around lap 26, simply because they don't have to make it last as long, and if they're running in that same aggression levels, it's not going to hurt them later in the run as much as it would have, as Daniel Cunningham looks to fight with the 26 and 81, and you'll see as Sturgeon goes down the inside of Jake Collins. Very loose on the exit of turn 4 is Collins. Almost got into the wall, almost got into Sturgeon. He saved that 81 machine, lost one spot, might lose another though.
As you were making that call, JJ Moore just sent it into turn 1 and 2. He was door to door with Patrick Drabeck again. He is now putting the pressure on. We'll see if he dives into turn 1 once again. This time, he's just going to get to his back bumper, but JJ Moore being extremely aggressive, trying to get to his back bumper right there. Whoo, really tight. Putting the pressure on Patrick Drabeck.
Gap continued to come down, and Moore with all of this aggression aimed right at that 07 Jam Printing and Promotions machine down the inside, and Jacob Ellingson gets loose. We'll join with him in just a few moments, and Moore will have to fight back with momentum down the backstretch. Drabeck covered it down the inside through 1 and 2.
We'll take a quick look at this battle again, once again, over and over again. JJ Moore, look at this, just sent it down in there. I mean, so deep, still didn't even make contact, but man, it was really tight. These two drivers up front are putting on one heck of a battle as we're now going back to live action. Patrick Drabeck potentially using that arrow blocking advantage to keep that 54 behind him right now.
I'm shocked that the 54 did not slide up into the 07 with that maneuver. Really good brake modulation right there from JJ Moore. Really good discipline from Patrick Drabeck not to react, as Blake Edel has been caught up to by George Jewell. These three drivers in this battle for 5th, with Jake Collins and Daniel Cunningham in 4th right ahead. They're separated by a couple tenths each, and look at that, a big hit into the wall for Blake Edel. That's a massive slam into the outside wall of turn number 2.
That'll ring your bell if you're not prepared for it, that's for sure. Good thing we're in the sim. Don't want to be taking hits like that during the off season if you're a real driver. These hits, these cars are extremely tough. Yeah, these cars are extremely tough, and they can take quite a battle. As I think JJ Moore, did he spin out? Because he has lost almost 2 sides. He's fallen way back.
Something has certainly happened to JJ Moore, and we'll see how hard he was pushing it. He wanted to make that move happen a little bit ago. Runs up top here, and he continues to hemorrhage time. Here's a look. He takes a peek down the inside. Decides to stay in that middle groove. This is perfect arrow blocking positioning for Patrick Drabeck. Coming out of 1 and 2. Everything so far no good into 3. And look at that, Drabeck went high with entry. JJ Moore wasn't expecting it. Gets turned a little bit off of 4.
We got a yellow. We
got a yellow on track, by the way. We'll join with live picture. We'll get back to what happened to Moore. And issue for Josh Lokovitz. And look at that. It's the 50 of Kendorian Davis.
Heavy damage right there, that's for sure. Looks like Stubblefield is involved as well. Oh man, that right front will not turn. Yep, Timothy Stubblefield getting, you can see spun right there. It might have started with Davis. We'll see if we can get a little look further back.
What is happening here? Davis off the pace. We got a lot of things to try and catch up with here. So here's Kendorian Davis. Goes into turn 1. Something
Oh,
broke. Something absolutely broke, I think, on his sim racing setup. Goes down into somebody else. And then
oh.
just comes down into Lokenvitz, who 4 laps down was an innocent bystander
I
right
think that
there. And
was
that is
was that
quite.
Stubblefield?
Uh, uh, yeah, that was Stubblefield, excuse me. An
Yep,
innocent
that's okay.
bystander right there. Thanks for the correction. I did not quite see.
It,
But
it's all good.
hey, Jacob Ellingson, by the way, is now 6 laps down and seems to be out of the race. So that is a big, big hit for him right now as pit stops do begin. Drabick up to that front stall. Let's watch. He and JJ Moore. Moore, of course, gets on to the jacks first as this stop should get them till the end of this race easily. Oh,
As they call it, as they call it in real life racing, they
did
call it the money stop.
Hey, JJ Moore, I think he was speeding down pit road. He has been held up and will serve a penalty as we speak. A massive blow to his opportunity to win this race.
One of the few drivers I felt really had something for Patrick Drabeck. We'll see how it shakes out. See if maybe these drivers
Is he gonna
behind
lose a
JJ Moore
lap?
can figure it out. But yeah, he might be going a lap down for sure.
Oh, this is awful for JJ Moore as the pace car. Oh, did he stop the bleeding? Yes, he just
He did.
barely
Woo, wow.
stayed on the lead lap. So while it is majorly detrimental to his chances of a victory, don't count him out yet. Well, as we go through lap 60 under caution right here, we're going to step aside for a few moments for some words from our partners.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Back here on Maconi Entertainment, some Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series action. And what happened to lead to that issue for Jacob Ellingson just turned distinctly right. That's got to be an equipment issue. No, he actually slid into the corner. He's been drifting into the corner tonight, and it finally reared its ugly head.
Turn 4 has been the big monster all night tonight, and stringing their heads all around this track. A lot of these playoff drivers having tough nights. We're coming to the green.
Back to green flag racing. Pit stop, pit strategy. It's done. They will go to the end if we stay under green flag conditions. Pace car dives into pit road. Patrick Drabick has Logan Sturgeon on the inside. Green back out. And Sturgeon almost able to keep that bumper in line with his right front tire, but is unable to do it. And Drabick continues to run away. Taylor, Edel, they get a little bit squirrely down the back stretch and go side by side for fifth.
What a great battle right there for 4th, 5th, and 6th. As it looks like Jason Taylor is trying to prevail on that bottom. See if he can get past Blake Edel, but Edel is going to have a good exit. Still looks like Jason Taylor will clear himself. One thing I want to mention about our leader, Patrick Drabeck, he was one of the cars that took a lot of laps during practice. That's probably why he's our defending champion, because he gets a lot of laps in practice and now finds himself pretty much doing great, almost dominating this race in a way, as the one car I thought had the most for him of JJ Moore finds himself back in 11th after that pit road speeding penalty.
JJ Moore is going to run through the field if he shows the speed that he displayed to us early in this race. Gets by Bobby Germain, who started the race and dead last, is up 5 positions, running in 11th in that 42 Chevy Camaro ZL1. Cunningham and George Jewell right now fighting for P5 at the moment. Jewell dives in a little bit heavier on the brakes, a wider apex there for Daniel Cunningham in that Ghost Toyota. On board with Jewell right now in a 1.
Just trying to find that clean air to get on his nose of George Jewell in the number 36. All over the back bumper of Cunningham. Trying to figure out which way Cunningham's going to go, because he needs to go the opposite way to keep that clean air on his nose.
Jewell dives into the inside, makes contact with Cunningham, almost clears him out. What a save from the 91.
Absolute monster save for the 91, but his rear tires are going to be so unhappy early in this run. Can he keep his car underneath him to try to get these tires cooled off?
I don't know if his tires are as heated as he might be after that move. Moore down the inside of Kaufman. Let's look at a replay here.
Caught the tail end of it right there. George Jewell was just there kind of hanging out. I'm not sure if Cunningham just slowed up a little bit more than he was expecting, but speaking of Cunningham, look to his inside of JJ Moore trying to find himself up to 7th already.
Moore into 7th easily right now, and Blake Edel is in 6th up ahead of him. If I'm Daniel Cunningham, I think about trying to follow Moore as well as I can to maybe pounce on the 18 and get another shot at him, because that was quite a, I don't want to call it straight up dirty, but it was kind of a sloppy attempt at a move by Edel there, as we're watching Jake Collins and Jason Taylor do battle. Remember, Taylor went to the back of the field pretty much after an earlier mistake in his race. He's back up to 4th, fighting for 3rd.
Jason Taylor in the untied Retinol's number 41. Spoke to him earlier this year about that, because I thought it was United Rentals, and it was incorrect. So I'm glad he helped straighten us up on that, as he's now to the inside of Jake Collins, trying to make that pass happen. Great turn there on the bottom of 3 and 4. Oh, almost got himself cleared out.
There was hesitation, and that is why Collins was able to fight back on the outside and live to see another day as the 3rd place runner. But Taylor, with a fantastic 2 corners, is back down the inside. He'll edge up in front in 3 and 4. Will he hesitate this time? Yes, he will. A bit tail happy there. And again, Collins fights back on the outside.
Continuing to be side by side and eat up those tires almost kind of unnecessarily. Maybe it'd be just kind of easier to let the other driver go past right now and just kind of ride it out, as we got, we're only at lap 75 and a lot can still happen. Let that pass happen. Get back to them here later in this run.
Much still to race for tonight. 12 drivers on the lead lap, and only a couple have an opportunity to knock off Patrick Drabeck from his run tonight. Drabeck has led, I believe, every single lap in this race. He's the only driver besides JJ Moore to have a lap time turned in the sub 24 second range Drabick currently 1.4 seconds up in front of Logan Sturgeon, and that gap continues to climb.
Speaking of JJ Moore in 7th, he made that pass for 7th. Just kind of been hanging out at about that 4-second range, 3.84 seconds. Not really gaining that much on our leader right now, back in that dirty air.
I think the opportunity for him to get in the third is easily there. Would not be shocked if he's competing for second with Sturgeon by the time we are done in this one. As we're looking at that gap right there, continue to rise between Edel and JJ Moore, and Moore is starting to climb a little bit closer. We'll see the gap that time by the thousandths of a second mark. They're running very similar lap time.
Oh man, really tight there. Really tight there in exit 2. JJ Moore is just driving the wheels off of this thing, literally just trying to get every spot he can, because he knows how much speed he's going to need to get to Patrick Drabick, but getting to third is possible. Getting to the lead, I'm not sure, but a couple spots within striking range to try to keep his playoff hopes alive.
What a good bit of racing we've had here tonight.
A great bit of racing, to be honest.
Yeah, no, this has been absolutely fantastic here tonight. These drivers are giving it their all. It's a small field, but it has been a night full of good racing, as we're at 35 laps and change to go here in this race at Iowa Speedway. You're watching it, by the way, on Maconi Entertainment. The Maconi Setup Shop and Maconi Entertainment is the home for setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, event promotion, and more. On the iRacing service, subscriptions are available for as low as $8 per month. It's the official setup shop of NASCAR and the official series sponsor of the NASCAR C-Fix Series. Go to MaconiSetupShop.com for more information. As this battle is coming at you live on Maconi Entertainment, George Jewell got way loose. He's driving the wheel off that thing.
Turn 4, man, it is so tricky. You know, it looks easy on these screens that we're watching right now, but I tell you what, these drivers have their hands full in their sim rigs. The track is not smooth whatsoever. These tires are just falling off. I mean, we had 23.9 race, you know, for fast laps, and now we're down to 24.6s, and the pace over a half a second off from their best laps. And these drivers are just trying to survive these last few laps and make sure they got tires for the end.
JJ Moore was fighting right behind the 18 of Blake Edel. Falls back a little bit. We've seen it from Moore where he fights so hard, tries to make a move work, is unable to get that move to work, and then falls back a few tenths in behind. If you don't make the move happen when you want it to happen, I mean, and you're driving the style that he's driving, you gotta make those pass attempts worth it, because you're gonna lose time and you're gonna lose potential to move up through the field quickly. I mean, he's stalled out now.
You know, getting those couple positions earlier on was pretty easy, but this dirty air is just nothing to mess with. It just makes it so hard to make the passes, you know. And he was in second place battling for that lead, and he was just getting aero blocked. And when you got 5 or 6 cars in front of you, just really cannot find any clean air to get a good lap every lap. And right now, JJ Moore is running 24.8, excuse me, and the leader is running a 24.7. So about a 10th difference there, you know, between that dirty and clean air. It adds up lap per lap.
It certainly adds up. Doesn't look like really any traffic is going to be concerned by the end of this race for Patrick Drabick or any of the drivers within the top 5. Drabick now 2.5 seconds up on the 26 machine driven by Logan Sturgeon. Sturgeon is having himself one heck of a race, up 7 spots tonight. Started in P number 9 and up 7 spots. I mean, it's the highest mover of anyone so far tonight.
Great run by Logan Sturgeon tonight. As we take a look at his lap time, just about a 10th off of our leader right there. Just under. And I mean, Drayback putting off some really good laps. I'm telling you, that practice that he got tonight really played into his hand. And that's probably why he's a defending champion. You know, it's you got to get practice as much as you can, and you just gotta have the commitment sometimes. But don't get me wrong, all these drivers are doing great, and just Patrick Drayback is just showing the lead. As we look at that,
Oh, look at
JJ
this.
Moore driving it again hard into turn one, and he's gonna make that pass. And I don't know what is Adel gonna do with him.
That is some really good racing there from JJ Moore. He slowed up mid-corner to then block the 18 of Edel from making a swap over work. And JJ Moore almost gets into the wall. Edel slides up, loses the spot. Good hard racing. And look who is back into this conversation for 7th place. Remember, Cunningham and Edel made contact. I don't know if Cunningham has necessarily forgotten about that.
We'll see. Might have been Jewel. We'll have to see. It looks like so far so good. As we got 25 laps to go. Man, these races are just flying by here at the end of this season. These drivers have really gotten into a good rhythm. Even after a quick Thanksgiving break, these drivers are just pretty much right back to where they were. And this has been some great racing here. Great side-by-side battles throughout the race. And drivers definitely have their hands full. And you got to really start racing the track once these tires get hot.
George Jewell right now is second in front of JJ Moore. We'll see if Moore is able to take advantage of a pocket of clean air to catch up to Jewell, as we see that gap has come down a little bit each lap between Moore and Jewell. We'll see if it continues over the course of this final 23-lap stretch. They will have to try and make these tires last the rest of the way. The fall off is around a second right now, and Jewell right up against the 81 and will slide underneath. Has momentum as well.
Jewel was one of our fastest cars lap time wise.
What happened? What happened? Logan Sturgeon is having a problem. Jason Taylor has gone past. So has Collins. So has... Oh, what is happening with Sturgeon there?
Something happened off of turn 4, because that's pretty much where it's been striking all night long. Looks like he's going to be okay now. Must be his tires were just dirty and very unhappy. He's going to go from 2nd to 5th.
He goes down the inside of George Jewell. We'll catch up with that in a moment. Here's a replay. He just lost it in between
Looks like
3
that
and
entry to
4.
entered a 3 there. Looks like got loose.
Yeah, he's definitely a little bit loose. That back end is rotating a bit too much on the entry into the set of corners there. Lost the spots and was able to get past George Jewell to move back into 4th, but that is -2 positions from just a couple laps ago. Look at this bit of running here. Sturgeon, again, looking to get back into a podium position.
It almost seemed like the 26 of Logan Sturgeon there, he got a little loose, and he was afraid it was going to overcorrect to the wall, so he kind of held the brakes down and tried to just load that car up, so he didn't just nosedive it right into that wall.
It is a strategy, not a bad one, because if you get the overcorrection, if you get the correction wrong and make it into an overcorrection, obviously bad things only will meet you at the wall right there. So
very quickly too.
Yes, very, very quickly. 18 laps remaining in this race, and Jeremy, I know you mentioned it, but let's talk real quick to all you patrons at Nasty's Restaurant and Bar in Hilliard, Ohio. From the get-go, we aim to embody the energy and passion our sons, Nathan and John, poured into their dreams. Nathan's commitment to hospitality ensured that every guest received exceptional food and service, and are the co-sponsors of Wednesday's Next Gen Cruisin Classics series. They have hosted numerous fundraisers in their establishment with the goal of raising funds to donate a sim rig to a deserving veteran or first responder. Everyone take a drink, please. If you're watching it at Nasty's, another mistake. It looked like from Logan Sturgeon, and JJ Moore is ready to pounce into 6th. There are 2 positions right in front of him. He could move into 4th very quickly.
And oh, he's gonna almost get into JJ Moore there. Sturgeon with another problem. I think his tires are just extremely unhappy. And he's just trying to get it around this track for this final 15 laps. I said JJ Moore could find himself, I believe, in third place. He is almost there. He's got 15 more laps to do it.
Sturgeon is going to dive down the inside of JJ Moore, lose the back end, somehow still keep control of that car through the corners. We're on board with Cunningham. Sturgeon packing some air onto that left rear quarter panel of the 54, is able to stay alongside. This feels like a caution waiting to happen.
Just more of that great GoatLocker Racing right here on your screens. Sturgeon doing everything he can to just try to minimize the bleeding from his couple of slip-ups. Trying to stay within striking range of the podium. JJ Moore, a speeding penalty. Trying to find his way back up to at least third into the podium is Sturgeon. With a power move through turns 3 and 4, finds himself back in front of JJ Moore at the start-finish line in turns 1 and 2.
Every position matters when the car counts are this low. Cunningham looks to go down the inside of the 54. Sturgeon holds up JJ Moore's run into the corner. Sturgeon is wide. Moore goes around the outside. Cunningham down the inside. Positions swapping between all the drivers in this field. And Sturgeon, who was running in second place, just trying to survive and hopefully stay on the lead lap, I feel like now. Where'd Tyler Justice come from?
There's just so many comers and goers on this extremely long green flag run with this great racing. We've got all this chaos back here, but up front, 3.5 seconds in the lead. You've got Patrick Drabeck on kind of a Sunday drive coming to 10 laps to go with a 3-second lead. Can he hold off Jason Taylor? As Jason Taylor's last couple laps were, I think, just a smidgen quicker.
Yeah,
lost a little bit that time, but he did have a couple quicker laps.
He did lose around 25 thousandths right there to Patrick Drabeck, but absolutely you got to give it up to Jason Taylor. Had a mistake earlier in the race, has fought back to be within an admirable distance of the, I don't want to just say race leader, but the race dominator in that 07 machine. Jake Collins will try and defend on corner entry, got tight on corner exit, up into the wall. George Jewell fights down the inside, almost. I think he did make contact with the 81.
Just slight contact, and Collins is trying to stop the bleeding. Gets extremely loose in turn 1 from that contact. Trying to get his tires cleaned off. Drives it hard down into 3 and 4. Trying to get back around Cunningham. Trying to get those spots back. This is a hornet's
nest.
This is some crazy racing right here.
JJ Moore has lost a lot of time. Those tires are absolutely shot. So with Logan Sturgeon, I mean, it makes sense. Both of those drivers tried to run through the field. And Collins, Cunningham almost come together as they go to 7 to go across the line this next time by. Oh, man, almost 3 wide right there. Justice going down the inside.
Absolutely stellar racing. Oh, contact there to the 36, I believe, of Jewell. And Cunningham's going to take that back. Yep, that was payback.
Was that not retribution for earlier contact between Cunningham and Jewell? I think so. What did we say?
Oh, we got a yellow.
Caution is out on the racetrack.
I think it's Sturgeon.
Logan Sturgeon, who had been hemorrhaging positions, has brought out the caution with 6 laps to go. Now 5 in this race. Going to most likely set up a green-white checkered attempt. And all of a sudden, Patrick Drabeck's domination of this race might go for nothing.
Let's take a look at this contact once more between Cunningham and Jewell. This Cunningham kind of just gave him a little shove down there in the turn 1. Didn't wreck him. Did not wreck him. George Jewell is still racing. That was a, hey, I remember what you did to me earlier, and this is me just returning the favor. As you can see there, it looks like Sturgeon in the 26 Cruisin Classics machine does extremely loose into turn 3. As everybody is coming out pit road.
I'm shocked that that was a caution based on what we've seen, and everyone does come down to pit road. If you did not, you were going to get absolutely crushed on the restart here. Patrick Drabick will lead Jason Taylor into the pits, and because there was no lapped cars, they will be able to go right next to each other, right nose to tail, as if they were running that way the whole race right now. We'll see who goes with just 2 right side tires for the end of this race. I can't imagine too many will. You will lose so much time in this one. As drivers start to come out, Jason Taylor almost able to beat Drabick, but again, that first stall does so much for the driver of the number 07.
Well, Taylor actually was slower pretty much all the way around, but almost made it happen still. So great pit sequence there for Taylor, who I do think might have something for Patrick Drabick. You're going to see these drivers right here being extremely aggressive, trying to get these tires up to temperature quickly because, like you said, we might be having a green-white checker here to finish out this race.
Am I going crazy, or did we see another? Yes, we did. Speeding penalty for J.J. Moore. Right when things were starting to get better for him, J.J. Moore stays on the lead lap once again, but he threw away this race for sure.
Whoever at the shop set his tachometer needs to do it better next week because they missed it by a couple miles an hour, I think.
Just a little bit. I mean, all that momentum from the first half of the race and all the progress he made after making that mistake 60 laps ago, it means nothing now. He's going to need a miracle, and for Jason Taylor and Patrick Drabick to take each other out. So Moore is going to be restarting from 12th, last driver on the lead lap of this race. Hey, remember we were talking about all the problems that Josh Lokenvitz was having earlier in this race, so spinning pretty much 3 times? Well, he's gotten himself back down to 3 laps down. Not a bad show as this race has gone on. He's stayed quiet and stayed relevant, at least, picking up some spots after other drivers continue to have mistakes.
And you got to give him credit where credit's due too. Had those early on incidences with no yellows there, and just he's been kept fighting and kind of kept himself quiet. I think he got it figured out pretty good. So got to give a little bit of prop here to Josh Lokenvitz, kind of making it happen here in the later stages of this night and really figuring it out. And good to see. It was a little sketchy at the beginning of the race. So
some of the highest movers in this race, obviously Tyler Justice. We said, where did he come from? Because he did start way back in 14th. He's up to 5th, a gain of 9 positions here tonight. Leads every driver. A gain of 6 spots for Bobby Germain, up to a top 10 position after starting in dead last. He is up to 10th from 16th. And Jason Taylor up 5 spots into 2nd place. The lights are off on the pace car. Will Taylor be able to pull off an upset, or will Patrick Drabick lead from flag to flag?
I remember that first start that Patrick Drabick had. It was a little sketchy. Cunningham got the lead, led a couple laps, just barely, and then Drabick has never looked back. This is the money start for that 07 machine, the GM Printing Promotions on the side. Can he have the restart of the race, grab that checker flag, and secure himself into the next round?
It's the final short track race of this Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series season. Will it be Drabick or Taylor, or maybe somebody else punching their ticket into the championship race? We're 2 laps away from getting the answer to that. What a great jump from Drabick. Jason Taylor was caught sleeping, and now Daniel Cunningham wants a bit of the action. Remember, he was in 2nd at the start of this race, did lead a couple laps earlier on, and Drabick has checked out already.
Drabick just wants to get across that start-finish line with the white flag waving this time as they're almost 4 wide, coming out of turn 4, battling there for the edge of the top 5.
Next flag will be the checker. Drabick up half a second. The battle is for second and everything else all the way back. Taylor over Cunningham, over Collins. Cars getting into the wall, but no one has any speed to battle the 07. Patrick Drabick will win here at Iowa Speedway, and he's in the championship race.
Only way to defend your championship is to be eligible to defend that championship. And Patrick Drabick, winner here at Iowa, would do just that. What a great race by him. And honestly, a great race by everybody. This was just a clean race. And I believe Blake Edel was spinning coming off of turn 4. Lost a few positions coming checkered. But Patrick Drabick is going to burn it down and celebrate his win.
Back-to-back victories for Drabick. Not only punched his ticket into the round of 8, but now has punched it into the championship race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Also back-to-back third-place finishes for Daniel Cunningham. Drabick is going to burn it down, and we will be right back here on Maconi Entertainment.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Patrick Drabick wins it here at Iowa Speedway in that Jam Printing and Promotions 07 Camaro ZL1. Let's take a look at the final results from tonight's race and the first of 2 in the round of 8. Drabick, Taylor, Cunningham, your podium finishers. We'll talk to all 3 of them in just a few moments. Jake Collins and Logan Sturgeon round out the top 5, while George Jewell, Tyler Justice, James Goffman, Timothy Wilms, and J.J. Moore finish in the top 10. Bobby Germain and Blake Edel finished on the lead lap. Josh Lokenvitz finished 3 laps down. Kendorian Davis, Timothy Stubblefield, and Jacob Ellingson, drivers who had major problems in this race tonight. That's your 16 drivers finishing the race. And now it is time to talk to the podium finishers from tonight. And who better to start that off with than Patrick Drabick, who we just pulled, I think, mid-conversation. Congratulations, Patrick. Back-to-back wins for you. How do you feel?
Man, pretty amazing, man. I mean, I think I said this last week when I won, man. It had been a rough season here in the next-gen car. And to win back-to-back in the playoffs, lock myself into the championship I'm just freaking thrilled, bro. To bring this, Jam Printing and Promotions 07 Camaro to victory lane 2 weeks in a row in the playoffs, it does not get any better than that.
And it also comes at 2 distinctly different racetracks. One a mile and a half, one a short track in Iowa. So you go back to now 2 intermediates. They drive very differently to one another. Do you feel like you're going to be able to get back into that intermediate mindset and compete again for some maybe an additional race win before you try and go for it all in the next couple weeks?
Well, we're just going to go out next week and have some fun, man. The pressure's off. getting another race win really doesn't mean a whole lot. I mean, points don't carry into the championship for, so we're just gonna go out there and have some fun next week. Let it all hang out, see where it lands. But we're gonna be in full prep mode for that championship race for sure.
Championship, of course, will be held at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in 2 weeks. Patrick, going to give you the stage. Say who you want to give a shout out to.
And a huge shout out to Jam Printing and Promotions. I run them on the side of my car and truck. They're amazing people, veteran-owned company. If you own anything that has GoatLocker Racing on it, Jam Printing and Promotions has done that. Lincoln Tech, and for sponsoring the entire fall series. Hidden Wit Brewery there on Tuesdays. Nasties, who I hope is broadcasting this race here tonight there at the bar. So awesome to bring home the win there as well. Cruisin Classics, amazing people over there in Columbus, Ohio. The Veterans for Life Foundation and all they're doing. Operation Valor, which is going to be coming on here very, very shortly. Can't wait to start talking more about them and what they're going to do here in GoatLocker Racing. InVets on Sundays, an amazing organization that does a lot of great work with veterans all across the state of Indiana. The Department of Veterans Affairs, and everybody that just makes this thing go. There are a bunch of great guys in here and gals and family supporters and those that tune in each and every week. I can't tell you how much I love you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a part of what we're doing here at GoatLocker Racing. This is amazing, man. Just amazing.
For someone who's only won twice here in the Cruisin Classic series, you certainly have the sponsor readouts down pat. Congratulations, Pat, on that win. All right, Jeremy, you're going to be talking to our second and third place drivers. Second place driver being Jason Taylor.
As we've got Jason Taylor in the booth, the Untied Retinols number 41 machine, man. Quite the battle. He started 7th. Looked like you were battling through the whole field all night long. Man, there was crazy racing all over the racetrack, man. GoatLocker never disappoints. What more did you need to get around that 07?
Long run, probably 50 plus laps with me starting behind him, so he couldn't get that far in front of me. I had long run speed on him. I could not touch him on the short run, and if he got out 3 seconds, I wasn't going to be able to catch him.
Well, you were definitely making a charge there on that late run we had there. I believe you were almost down to 3 seconds, and then the yellow came out. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. You said that restart was just happened very quickly. So you came home second, and a great run for you. Who do you have to thank for getting you here tonight?
Maconi Setup Shop, actually. I watched the video on Iowa from earlier this year, and it helped me find some good lines and just take my time, stick on the bottom, save those tires. So shout out to Maconi Setup Shop. Those videos each week are very, very handy. People should check those out, honestly. My boys back at the Black Flag Motorsport Shop, Sean O'Brien, Dylan, and Bobby. Shout out to those guys. You guys for putting on the show. Thank you very much. I can't wait to watch the show back, and the admins of the league and the sponsors can't do this without them. I appreciate them.
Well, Jason, great run tonight. Thank you so much for your time. We'll see you at the next one.
Ooh, Untied Rentals P2, baby.
Let's go. That was Jason Taylor, your second place finisher. We'll grab Daniel Cunningham. Daniel Cunningham finishing in third place. Led a couple laps early on. Man, what did you need to get around that 07? Because you had some heaters there with George Jewell as well.
Yeah, just a little bit better track position and just less mistakes on my part. Like you mentioned, kind of had the run in with George. I didn't really. I mean, I went back and watched it, but it is what it is. Things happen on the track. But if I wouldn't have made some mistakes on restarts, I would have never been in that position to start with. So, yeah, just I don't think I had anything for Pat over the long run, because after he got out in front of me there on that first, little 10-lap stretch or whatever it was, he kind of set sail, and JJ kind of set sail too. So, yeah, but solid night for a track that isn't one of my favorites, so to speak. So, I'll take third place out of that.
Well, you led 7 laps. That makes you the only other driver to lead laps besides Patrick Drabeck. So you have that going for you. Finishing third. The season's winding down. I got to thank you for your time. And who do you got to thank for getting you here tonight and through the season?
Yeah, thank you all for doing the broadcast this season. Our league sponsors with Lincoln Tech, Cruisin Classics, Nasty's Restaurant and Bar. Appreciate them supporting the league. All the other secondary sponsors that we've got that put the effort in to make this go around. And thanks to my teammates at Bandits Motorsports and Ghost Energy Drink.
Well, good run for you tonight. Find yourself on the podium. Hopefully, we'll talk to you here in these next few races. Congratulations, Daniel.
Thanks, guys.
Well, that will do it for the podium finishers here tonight. Next week, join us back again at Nashville Super Speedway. We're going to be going there for the second race in the round of 8. Jeremy, your final thoughts?
Another night that does not disappoint with this GoatLocker Racing Wednesday night Next Gen Series. Cruisin Classics, all the sponsors that make this happen. This was a great night. I'm gonna say I'm kind of sad it's winding down so fast, and I'm excited to see what's going on in the next future. But like I said, we got a couple races left, and man, Nashville. So that's gonna be one heck of a battle as these drivers, a couple drivers trying to find themselves in that championship race.
You don't need 30-plus drivers in a race to put on a show, and all the competitors tonight proved just that. Well, from everybody at Maconi Entertainment, it's been a pleasure bringing you tonight's broadcast of Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series GoatLocker Racing action here. I'm Dylan Coyle. Alongside Jeremy Briggs, we wish you a pleasant good evening, good night, and good racing.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel.